All right, Rob and Guy Pendergrass from the Pendergrass Academy of Martial Arts. Wanted to first thank all the ladies that came out to our women's self-defense workshop that we held a few weeks ago. Got some feedback and some really positive feedback. And one of the feedback that we got was some of the ladies wanted to see like a recap. So what we're going to do is recap what we did the day of the event, and then also throw in an extra bonus technique. Someone had requested to see what would you do if someone were to come from behind you. So we're going to show you one scenario from that. So I'm going to let Guy start off with some of the striking techniques that you ladies learned that night, and then I'm going to finish up with some of the ground technique that we worked on with that bonus technique.
So two of the basic strikes that we learned, because if you're going to actually make contact with someone, your elbow and your knees are two good points of contact to do the strikes. So we practice them on the tie pads. So if Rob holds up this tie pad, I'm going to do a rear elbow, focusing on hitting with the tip of my elbow and making sure that I turn my body so that as I throw the strike, I'm actually getting a lot of power and force behind that. And then on the other side, if I want to throw the elbow with the rear hand, my right leg's back, so my right arm's going to throw the elbow. Same thing, as I throw the elbow here, I'm going to let my hips rotate so I can get some power into that. The other strike that we did, besides the elbow, was the knees. So if Rob holds this here, you can grab the back of the head, but without that, we're just going to lift the hip, push, and come back. So instead of that knee coming straight up, literally, we're going to make it more of a kind of a push action. So if this is out just a little more, I can really kind of knock them backwards with that. From a self-defense perspective, the one of the situations that we looked at, or the primary situation we looked at, if someone comes up in front of you and they grab you at the throat here, all right, because they're trying to move you to a situation or a different position, is we're going to come inside almost like a praying grip, and we're going to move the hands off, but we're going to follow up by grabbing the back of the head and either throwing the knee to the midsection, or once he does the grab, we break it again, and then we can come in with our elbow. All right, so those are the major points of what we did on the striking side.
Okay. As far as the ground, because a lot of scenarios when a women's attack, they are attacked not. It starts on the feet, but inevitably it always goes to the ground. That's where the assault will usually be carried out. So we covered a couple of situations where if, for example, I was pushed down, or maybe I'm sitting in the park and someone walks up to me. Anytime someone's above you, we want to create space. Most of self-defense is maintain a certain safe distance and then trying to get out of the situation. So if I'm on my back and he approaches, I can try to strike at the knees, keeping my toes faced out to back him up. Once I feel comfortable, and I'm not trying to break his knee, I'm just trying to encourage him to get back from me. I'm going to sit up, one knee down, one knee up. The knee that's down, my hands on the ground to support my weight. Using that front foot and that back hand, I lift my hips and I rotate my bent leg underneath me until I can come up into a more solid position to where I can take off. Or if they come at me again, in this position, I could absorb that impact. And there's other techniques that we can do as far as like keeping space, using slaps to disorient him momentarily for me to get away. So one more time, even as I sit up, if he were to come at me again, I could use that bent leg to strike his leg to encourage him to back up, stand up. If he were to come at me all of a sudden, I'm not going to easily fall over because my feet are spread. If I was here, I'd be easily pushed over. So here, as he comes towards me, I block, and then I slap, and then I get away. We didn't cover all of that night, but that's just a little bonus technique you guys can do to disorient them and then to get away. Now, one of the worst positions you can find yourself on the ground is when someone's straddled on top of you. We call this the mount position. Whether he's slapping me, punching me, or choking me, we're going to do what we call upa. It's a bridging motion. Now, if he's sitting upright, what I'm going to do, and maybe he's getting ready to punch me, anytime I see him bring his arms back, I'm going to use my hips to pick I'm going to pick my hips up, and I want to put his hands on the ground, because if his hands are on the ground, then he's not punching me. So as I see him bring the hands back, I pick my hips up, and put his hands on the ground. Now, I have to go quick, because if I wait, he'll sit back up and continue to do it. So I hug, and then I lift my hips. Now it's very hard for him to sit up. shoulder, shoulder, scoot up. I'm going to circle and control his arm. Trapping his leg, trapping his arm. I pick my hips up. As I get out, I immediately stand up and back away. All right? And that's just a basic bridging. Again, we call it UPA in jiu-jitsu. But a good technique. And the concept's the same. Even if he's mounted on me, maybe he's not punching me, maybe he's choking me. Well, what I'll do is I'll just trap the arm, trap his foot, trap this whole side of his body, pick my hips up, come up on my knees, pop up, and get out of there. All right? Now, the last technique, the bonus technique I wanted to throw in there was, one of the ladies asked, what do you do if someone comes up from behind you? So you don't even see it coming. They walk up. We call this a rear grab. The idea for the assailant is they're going to try to pull you backwards and drag you somewhere. So as soon as he feels that, immediately fingers have to go in because there is going to be some choking pressure. He needs to relieve that for a split second. Then he's going to make a small step back, take his left leg, the outside leg, make a big swing, feet wide, and then he's going to bow. So it looks something like this. And then from here, he can disengage, he can punch the head, he can kick, he can do whatever he wants to. But that's basically how we address someone coming up from behind you and trying to grab you in that kind of manner. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please let us know, comment below. We look forward to doing another one in the near future. Again, if you have interest, reach out to us. If you weren't able to come, let us know. That way we can gauge and get a better idea of when to do our next one.
Sounds good.
Thanks.